Hello again. You brought the wafer. That's good. You may need it. Today was the first day of our social experiment, and I must say, it is an absolute mess. It is going to take all of my patience to get through the next week. Or is it a month? Oh, please don't let it be a year. It occurs to me, they never said how long this experiment would be. Which is a horrible experiment design. A proper experiment has parameters that have to be followed to the letter to avoid catastrophic results. Take that stand over there. That is my fuel experiment from our previous visit. I have distilled the distribution of fuel into the catalyst slow enough that it should dissolve properly. It's all about the method. I wonder what that says about our little group. Proper design could lead to a poor outcome. No matter. I am sure that I can get them up to my level with time. At this current time, our group consists of 4, including myself. Supposedly, we still have to find our last member, but no one ever heard of him. It's like he doesn't even exist. Anyway, we have a Loxodon from the Selesny. It's not odd for a paladin to be in a guild of tree-huffing folk, sure. A simple-minded paladin requires a simple-minded guild, I guess. I think his name is Bash, or Baz, who speaks with trees. What even is that name? Baz, who speaks with trees. An odd name for an odd elephant. I actually met him before. I was in a bar once, minding my own business, looking at a magical pipe that I had received. I was trying to figure out how it worked. He just sat down. He introduced himself and asked how I was doing, making small talk conversation at best. It was completely weird and out of the blue and really strange. The conversation was dull and unintelligent, and I wasn't really paying attention to most of it. He was curious about my pipe, so I asked him if he had any magical items. Either he would go away sad, or he would at least liven up the conversation somewhat. Lo and behold, he pulls out a tan pouch. This little bag summons animals. I've heard of them before, but I've never seen one in action. The elephant let me identify it. I'll be honest, I wanted to see what would happen if I introduced this species into a new environment. So, I told the creature to pull something out of the bag, and out popped a black bear. The paladin almost wet himself. Turns out, he's actually afraid of predatory animals. A paladin! A giant elephant paladin! You would think he'd be braver than most. Anyway, the bear went crazy. I mean, okay, it didn't actually do anything. It just roared and growled, because Baz has to command it in order to do something. Now, there were other adventurers in the bar, and they took offense to the bear, and they dispatched it. It was disappointing, but my curiosity had been sated. At that point, I figured it was a good time to leave. So I puffed on my pipe and summoned a cloud of smoke, disappearing before anyone could really notice that I was a part of the situation. Of course, someone had noticed, and I may be banned from that bar now. Oh well, I didn't really like their food anyway. When Baz showed up at the start of this social experiment, I was intrigued. He must be the baseline for the experiment, or the control. He's so simple and docile. It leaves me with questions of what other people we may find. Though, in hindsight, I'm not sure if he would be the control. You see, our next destination was the Boros garrison. We met up with a Vashino by the name of Sitharax. Though she insisted we call her Rax. I don't know why. Her name is not actually difficult. But then again, I do speak Draconic, which is going to come in handy. The lizard doesn't really have the best communication skills, outside of her actual language. Supposedly, at one point she belonged to the Gruul Guild, before she became a member of the Boros. A bunch of savages, the lot of them. The Gruul made sense. Finding her in the Boros was interesting. You see, the Boros are our military, full of soldier types. so she seemed to fit in. There was this Minotaur, leading Rax and the other recruits in drills. Rax seemed to be a capable fighter, though her weapons... oh, I'm not 100% sure they would survive in actual combat. We tried to get the Minotaur's attention, but he wouldn't budge. He ignored us completely. It was really, really rude. I thought Boz would have done something, since he is about the creature's size. But he was just happy to wait. Not me, though. You know what they say, time is money, and this bull creature was wasting our time. So, I cast Prestidigitation. The spell has many different uses. This particular version casts pretty light over the bull's head. Who knew that Minotaurs were averse to sparkles? The darn thing charged! Baj was nice enough to let me ride on his shoulders while we were on our way here. But, of course, I quickly jumped off. If you saw his horns, you would have fled too, believe me. Baz just stood there, waiting. Before I knew it, the Minotaur was flying through the air. The trajectory and the angle of flight smashed the creature into one of the training columns. The whole yard was laughing. Suffice to say, we left with Rax. Quickly. One thing I can say about Ravnica, the city is vast. One moment we were traveling above the ground in bustling markets, and the next, we were in the Golgari sewers. Which, by the way, the Golgari sewers are disgusting. Basically the trash collectors of the city, which is a novel concept, because these people take our trash and they do something with it. I can respect the functionality, though my experience with the Golgari is awful. You see, I made the mistake in venturing into the sewers once before. A colleague of mine told me that a Golgari elf found a piece of rare mysium in their sewers. Mysium is one of the most sought-after magical material this side of Ravnica. I had to have it. So I rushed down there. I sent a message on ahead of me to tell the elf to hold the item for me. Would you believe it? She didn't. The elf does not understand the value of the item. She just sold it for scrap. Scrap! Seeing her again with Baz and Rax the other day made me so mad. How am I supposed to work with her? She doesn't understand. I don't know if I can do it. I don't think I can work with a disrespectful spore monkey. The only good thing about this druid is she has a contact that might be able to find our missing member. Uh-oh. That's not good. Shouldn't be doing that. Run! Oh! Hey. Hey, are you... Oh no. Well, at least they signed the waiver. That means the responsibility is on him for what happened during this experiment. Poor sap. Can I get a clean up to the experiment chamber Alpha 2? Thank you. Well, I guess it is up to you and me for now, Clippers. I am still certain the guild will want to know of our progress in this experiment. From our side. Clippers, terminate audio recording.